Child youth June. All right, so has anyone in the audience or streaming online, are you all ready for some poetry? Are you all ready for some spoken word talent? All right, so we are going to kick it off today with the virtual auditions first. But I must say, for those of you streaming on Facebook or YouTube, please feel free to go to our socials with at National Poetry Slam TT and use the hashtags FCNPS 2023. All right? Or story to stage. So, without further ado, let's get into the first audition. Now we have via Zoom Miss Gabrielle Murray. Gabrielle, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I'm not hearing. Still not hearing.
All right, well, Gabrielle, if you can hear us, the floor is
Yes, I
yours.
can hear.
Okay, great. So we'll put it up on screen shortly. But like I said, the floor is yours. Feel free to start.
The story goes, the first time he held the heavy metal, his fingertips froze. And the last time he held the heavy metal, his fingertips burnt. The barrel impregnated with the bullets was ready to conceive the gunshot. Locked and loaded, he lifted just as he was taught, but thoughts of his mother buying black clothes made him taste fair. And there he was standing between life and death, futile attempts of convincing himself that she would do it too for a check. She would do it too to gain respect, except she was a saint. And he, a sinner, shivers, biting breeze just at ease of his destiny, behind bars or 6 feet beneath, both cold and lonely, if only the woman wouldn't feel sad for her foolish son. He could get the job done with peace of mind, telling him to grow a spine, forget mommy and man up. So he had to savor the metallic scent which sent sensations to his stomach, discard discomfort in his palms, pat them dry on his palms and throw up every last drop of it. Because that pull had the power to trigger a boy into manhood. At least that's what he was told. Be brave, be bold, he braced for the impact of the whiplash. Flashbacks, this was the time he normally creep in, mommy waiting in his bedroom, belt in hand. He could almost hear her singing hymns, reading psalms, and praying for her son. It was done. Absalom. Buckets of boiling sweat bathed him, salty like the sea drowning his pupils. He could smell before he could even see the kill. A poignant perfume linger in the back of his throat, notes of blood and gore breathing in felt more and more disgusting. But he started running, ears ringing from the pow, 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 echoing, heart beating, because now sirens screaming. He never stopped running, gun in hand, until his heart got hard and the deed became easy. No uneasy queasiness to serve the bowl of boiling hot death. His appetite was wet for the blood and the gore. Just for the rush of euphoria, he'd serve one more, then one more, then one more. Now he bragging about body count, keeping score like it's not some little boy's daddy. begging to be alive. Brought his sinister soul satisfaction. Fractions of body parts scattered like puzzle pieces gave him gratification. Instant high of a pull of a gun, someone put him on long after they're dead and gone, he's still on the run. Cause he immortal. He cheat jail and the grave again and again, but all the same, he never escaped who he'd become. That gun turned a boy into a monster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Please give her a really hearty round of applause. Our first auditioner today. Now, of course, you can hear these stories coming through already. The stories that resonate with us here as Trinbagonians, stories that are personal and impactful. All right? So, that is the vein that we are trying to keep this year's theme in. And we will go on to our next auditioner to see if she can keep up with Gabby's performance. So, our next performer will be Ayana Phillips. Ayana, are you here? Are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Great, you can hear us fine? Ayana?
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now, I'm hearing you now. All right, so like I said, time for you to step on the stage virtually and give us your story, all right? So the floor is yours, best of luck.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Ayana Phillips. The attempt. When you're standing outside your body looking in, seeing the lights at the end of the tunnel and thinking, yes, I win. It was the second time I tried. I was so unhappy living this happy life. This peace was worth the pitiful, pathetic pressure. Whatever and whenever. I lived for my aggressors. Every day I showed up, well put together. Seeing my flex, you could never guess my displeasure. That ray of sunshine in the rainy weather. Go figure. I was tired of being strong, exhausted of staying so long, fed up of righting all the wrongs, inverted my inner frown. I looked in the mirror and I saw a clown. I fantasized of mixing different bombs, a little fly spray mixed with wine, and something extra toxic to intertwine. Served with ice so my passing would be nice. Just one slice of happiness before I hit paradise. A permanent escape is what I wanted. I was taunted and haunted, and I had enough. I showed no signs, so no one could call my bluff. This ain't about you, it's about me. It's not to hurt my family. I just want to be free. Free from hurt and pain, free from having to pretend ever again, free from the shackles and chains, free from the inhumane and insane, free to soar on a different plane. So there I was again, queen clung in a gown, making sure no one was wrong. I made up my mind. Screw mankind, I resign. So I sipped on my drip with sobs and tears. I sipped in style. If it's one thing, I'm going out versatile. As I slipped into grace, I prayed no one would hate this date that I made with doom. I woke up with tubes in my nose in a hospital room, charcoal pumping into my soul. Dear God, why would you bring me back to this world? As I looked into the eyes of those that loved me the most, and the pain of how easy it was for me to give up my ghost, I reflected on the Most High God and his promised blessings to those who endured. If the master saw it fit to spare my life, I would remove my hands from the surgical knife. Just one of those suicidal days when escape feels like the only way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ayana. Now, I know our live audience can do a lot better than that. Please give her a round of applause. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to give her a proper first citizens welcome. Now, we have about a couple more virtual performances, so we'll keep it rolling and we'll go right into our next performer. She goes by the name of Malia Telesford. Malia, are you here with us on the line?
I am. Hearing me? Hearing me? I could begin?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. On your mark, get set, go. As the heads of the land chests expand with air into a whistle, they blow. Or should I say show? Guide you guys where to go, because as it may seem, the air was unfiltered, particles were floating, and the toxic specks were scattered, shattered into a ray of sunshine. These poisonous grains stuck on the outside and somehow battled their way to the inside, where the war between white blood and the bad guy, also known as the trespasser, or should I say the coronation of your worst nightmare. This was not for the swift, but the shift of your regular routine was twist so much that it left you demented in the eyes of my telescope, which I used to view the scenes that involved the rotation of the sun and moon, which had us watching our time X watches because we wanted to escape. Break free from the princess's dungeon that was guarded by the green dragon who filled the atmosphere with Coromandel, which left me gasping for air, but I couldn't handle the pain it plastered on my brain's memory. So I dust my feet. I cleaned my seat, which was 3 footsteps away from the space where I sleep. As the day passed by as swift as the wind on the beach, the thought of being confined by the closing walls of the tattooed chamber, which granted me the state of paranoid with a list of commands, all because of this aching coronoid-like object that kept instigating chaotic bouncing bees without the queen, because that is how my mind collected, projected through the eyes, which screamed to be done. With the race without a ribbon at the end. Or should I say that I could not perceive the defeat I was getting from what was happening. At this point, it was beyond my control to leave the castle because of the loose, contaminated particles that held captive the air, which were out of my boundaries, or because of the corollary speeches that were laid down to the ears of my neighbors and I. The only way around was the use of the technological device, which laid down the path to the eye doctor, because the weight my jelly eyes carried from being glued to light, projecting, reflecting into my senses from the flat, multicolored digital surface. When I thought the end was closer to me than before the light turned green, it was to my realization that this was only the beginning of a new feature added to the list of melody of the coronal start of a new era. I closed my eyes on a shooting star in hopes to return to the period before. On your marks, get set, go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Milia. I'm not sure about y'all in the audience, but I am enjoying the conviction in these performances right now. You can see that these are some seasoned poets on display. Now, just so you all know, the First Citizens National Poetry Slam is the premier spoken word competition in the Caribbean that carries the biggest prize anywhere. And we have a lot of talented people going up for this prize. And of course, like I said, they have the opportunity to make it to the final in April to go up against the champion, Alexandra Stewart, who has won it the last 3 times. So someone has the opportunity to dethrone her this year. Who will it be? All right, so going on to the next performer, we have Soleil Labari. Soleil, are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm not hearing. I'm guessing I could go ahead. Okay. Mommy, I think this pressure cooker finished. Sometimes I wish I finished, because you see this work until you make it work, even if you have to fake it, make it, break out, take it thing is not it. Getting an education is all they teach you. They preach to chase your dreams, but that's only if it means you're making money, of course. Search up career paths right now. Guarantee you all you will find is doctor, teacher, lawyer. And how am I supposed to believe I could be who I want if, Mommy? I think this pressure cooker definitely ready, set, go. Better pick the right subjects. Don't subject yourself to failure. Your best is not better. 3 is a pass, but I don't pass expectations. Getting 1s on a merit list is fierce competition. Can't do nothing else but study. Only academics. Academics don't mix with enjoyment. You need maths and English to work KFC at least. I pick chemistry. So that's the paper I'll write because that's what will pay the bills, right? Because they say doctor is a good job. So just go to medical school. You're doing so well. Good job, mommy. But look, auntie, I'm not saying this pressure cooker done, but like you dumb hour. You're going to work a 9-hour shift. Work your 9 to 5, survive. Work your 9 to 5. But what if I wanted to draw my expressions to sell my expressions to an audience, but that sentence not making sense. Broadway too far on the highway right there. So sit down in traffic and stay right here. Make life easy, earn money, eat, sleep, die, survive. But that's not sounding too bad, right? As long as food on the table, at least you're living life stable, mommy. But look, this pressure cooker bubbling over, time's up, over. Well, now that you're older, go to the bank, invest and be a stakeholder. Don't get pregnant because then you have to hold her up to the realistics of society. Be a realist and work for your country. Make life easy. But chase your dreams, of course. That's only if it means it's on a UE course. Tell me, how many subjects you see on them lines that completely aligns with being, let's say, a soga artist? Learn your culture, but don't aspire to be it. Albeit you could try and fail. Mommy, I think this food done. Food succumb to pressure, stay in the pot like everyone else, too risky to be different, and risk yourself, wake up, work until you make it, work even if you have to fake it, take it, make or break it, go back to sleep, repeat. Mommy, I think the pressure cooker finished. Time to eat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soleil. I know you all enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, make some more noise for Soleil right now. Yeah. I have to say, I'm loving the female representation right now in this competition. A lot of females we just saw perform. But I think it's time to now switch it up and add some males to the mix, all right? So our next contestant will be Mr. Kyle Hernandez.
I don't hear anything anybody said, but just let me know.
Kyle, you hear me now?
I hear you now, yes.
All right. Now, Kyle is a familiar face and name in this competition. So, Kyle, I'll let you do your thing. The stage is yours.
All right. When he touches the back of my neck, it tingles. I let him do it anyways. I love the way his fingers snake through my hair, the way he turns me on top of his chair. Yeah. My barber is the best. My barber is the best. Fresh cuts, yes. Razor press so close to flesh, your skin impressed. Even with a radio face, one trim from him, you still impress any empress. Calm any storm, tame any tempest, biblical. If Samson used to cut his hair by my barber, he'd still be strong. If Rapunzel could have cut her hair by my barber, it'd still be long. I could leave this country, come back 10 years later and still be long. You could put a better barber in front of my barber, boy, it'd still be wrong. That Ice Cube movie based on my barber shop. They even keep the name. Barber shop, replace him with another barber man. I'd rather not. No one could ever replace him. The way his chiseled hands grip my chin with the confidence of a Greek god. Damn, he know what he doing. Like when he turned to me and say, "Tall man, tell me what we doing." Anything. My barber good at many things. Gosh, I love my barber. But not like that. No. In this barber shop is none of that. In this barber shop, the only type of male-on-male physical contact is between a barber's hands and where to put your hat. Other than that is straight pushback. If you're not straight, then don't push back. We don't push that. Male hairdresser kind of thing. It's about hair salon next door. By the way, there's one to swing. My barber say, let me get one thing clear. Once you're on my chair, you can't be queer. You hear? I mean, I'm nothing against it. Just can't be near your hair. It's the only thing I touching. So don't get the wrong idea. Is hair. Just because a man playing with a man's head doesn't mean he want to play with a man. Barbershop quotes. You don't want to set a fellas laughing and having fun, but it's non-stop jokes pointed at me. I mean, the one weird guy on the bench who bent and everybody say kind of iffy, but what if he needs more than a haircut? wants to take the headphones out of his ears, raise his head up, but scared of teardrops because methylated spirit does burn. And a crushed spirit does burn. And knowing you'll never fit into the only place you ever wanted to does. What about people like us, them? What about people like them you can't trust when they're on your chair, Baba boy? What about people like us, them that is make you want to run, Baba boy? Don't run, Baba boy. My Baba is the best. Yes, fresh cuts. But sometimes he just say things that just make me want to take the razor close to flesh. And if I'm not human, at least treat me close to flesh, man. Thanks, everybody.
All right, Writer Center, please make some more noise for Kyle Hernandez. The males come to shake out the place. They're keeping pace with the females for sure. All right, and of course, we're encouraging these poets to step up and tell their stories, the stories that really matter to them. You know, to get, like I said, personal, impactful, and to tell you stories that resonate with us as a people. All right, so we're going into our next contestant, another young man. He goes by the name of Winston Trotman. Winston, you ready for us here?
Hey guys, you hearing me?
Hearing us?
Hello, you guys. Hello, can you guys hear me?
All right, cool. Yeah. Go ahead and start, all right? The floor is yours.
Every time someone hears my accent, they ask me, where are you from? I tell them, Tuna Puna. They say, nah, like, where are you from? And I say, oh, you mean the origin of my vernacular, the navel string to my twang, AKA why my lingo different, why my slang hang low. Well, I was born in New York, but my life has always been a seesaw between two nations. Almost every decade, there was a permanent change, finding plane rides back and forth the foundation of my youth. My feet grace both countries over and over again. My identity always questioned over and over again. I having to answer this question over and over again. I remember in high school, after a Christmas holiday, returning to the States, a crowd assembled around me during lunch. I asked myself, am I finally attractive? Did my body do the thing it was supposed to when now everyone notices you? Then a girl said to me amongst the river of people who assembled, hey, yo, say peanut butter again. Peanut butter. The sirens sang their songs of laughter, asking why I talk funny now. I, feeling ashamed of my native pronunciation, indoctrinated my diction to match the addiction of fitting in. I tried finding a crew that would accept the way I announced the letter A after T in the word water. Still, I was in a desert of misfits. My mother would call her native residents beautiful, while she had the code switch between red, white, and black to red, white, and blue. The minute we left the house, I had to wrestle with lineage, determine if my forefather's speech frequency meant so much to me as a youth. I found myself practicing in mirrors, removing the YA from words like picture, adding knives and forks to curry dishes because hands are only for hot dogs and hamburgers. I traded bank holidays for President's Day. If you get it, you get it. My history lessons pretty much remained the same. You know, slavery pretty much started everything. I practiced it so much, I forgot the lessons in my West Indian readers. I forgot how to count with 10 colored rods. I forgot that some foods you eat by the vendor, how to say good morning when you enter a room with strangers. My accent is not from a place. Its birthday is unknown. The way I talk originates from a desire to fit in. So when you ask me where I'm from, I'll always claim the house my grandfather built from nothing. If you ask me where I'm from, I'll claim the birthplace of my parents. If you ask me why I talk this way, I'll always say, it's a long story, but it has to do with trauma and me wanting to belong someplace. Thank you.
You and well done, Winston. All right, so how are you all enjoying the show so far? Yeah? Make some noise, Writer Center. And for all of you streaming right now on Facebook and YouTube, utilize the comment section. Tell us which poets you all are enjoying the most right now. Use the flame emojis, all that good stuff, all right? Also, you can use the hashtags story to stage or FCNPS 2023. Now, getting right back into it, we have our next contestant. Her name is Josanne Jackson. Can you all please make some noise for our next auditioner, Miss Josanne Jackson? Josanne, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready?
I am, but it says I cannot start my video because the host has disabled it.
Okay, we have your video up and running now. All good? All right, so the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, judges. My name is Josanne Jackson, and my piece is called Advocacy. This burden that I carry, I didn't choose, but I carry.
Hi, Josanne. Josanne, can you hear us? Okay, it seems we are having some technical difficulties connecting to Josanne right now. So we'll just give her a chance to reboot and come back. In the meantime, I guess we have to go on to our next audition.
I think she's about,
She's back.
yeah.
Josanne, you have you back?
Yes, I'm here. Hearing me?
All right, yes, we're hearing you, we're hearing you. You had a little drop there, but we have you back now. All right, you
I
ready? Start
have-
over.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon. My name is Josanne Jackson, and this piece is called Advocacy. This burden I didn't choose, but I carry. These are your sons and daughters, and I feel heavy. Time wasted is time wanted. Prioritize so your life won't be wasted. This I heard as a youngster growing up. Time can't be replenished, so use it wisely. Yet we have students on the corridor daily. Go inside, teachers shout. Who's she talking to? Students' mouth. Taxpayers' money is invested. Box lunches, buses, paying teachers to go to classes. Why invest in students who don't want it? Let's zest them out and let them flaunt it. Zessa man, Zessa girl. A future of Zessas is a future of crime, gun violence, theft, loitering, rape. You think no, we have headache? Let's invest in the best practices of our youth. Speak the truth, no compromise. Students who don't apply themselves now, then become police officers, security personnel, border patrol in air and at sea, responsible for protecting you and me. An unlearned man with a gun will not run down his job, but people. This burden I carry pushes me to find ways to decrease illiteracy, helping youth to see their future is in their hands. This nation's tomorrow in their hands. The crime statistics in their hands. Invest in a young mind. Help while there is still time. Will you share this burden with me? Increase literacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josanne, for powerful words. Now, we have two more virtual performers before we get into the live auditions right here at the Writer Set. Are you ready for some live auditions? Are you ready for some live performance? All right. Well, let's not rush those before them. Let's give some time for the virtual performers. And up next, we have Amy Yates. Amy, are you on the line?
I'm on the line. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we are. And as you're
Awesome.
ready, the floor is yours. Good luck.
Thank you. Bloom. I was a young flower, abused and so scared. My planters were a bit neglectful, so sometimes my leaves stared. And although I was planted in the shade of a tree, I was convinced that the neglect was love, unfortunately. And just as I started over and replanted myself from a seed, I was sown into concrete that would very often make me bleed. And I could see all the other flowers flourishing with speed. To be loved the way that I loved them was all that I would need. But then he walked past and he saw such beauty in me. He chose me amongst all of the others you see. And I was so excited and so happy. From the shade of this tree, I was finally free. So he took me with him and put me on his windowsill. But I started dancing in the wind, so he said, hold still. And it's not like I understood libertarian free will. I was caught up in the prolonged infatuation, and it was such a thrill. But sooner or later, they lessen affection. And so he changed his direction. He was changing the weather too fast for me to keep up with. And I'm telling you guys, it felt like love was just a myth. Because he moved me from his windowsill and put me in a corner. And as my petals started to wither, I gave him a daughter. And I made sure to start making a plan for her to bloom, despite her and mama being in a small flower pot in the corner of his room. And soon my petals started to wither. The room was so cold now that I started to shiver, and there were no more tears that I could give her to water my daughter, so my mind started to slaughter. The reality that was influenced by this man. He was like a comet. One day he looked at me in my new state and picked me up only to place me in a closet. He put our little seed into his back pocket and then took one last look at me dying and shut the closet before he locked it. My eyes began to sink into my sockets and I begged for him to open up to me. Please just stop it. I thought that he left to go get some water to nourish, or maybe he left to look for a spot to plant me outside so that I could once again flourish the earth. I lost all my self-worth. And the fact that you was out here marveling in another flower, that really hurt. So before I lost my last petal, I dragged my roots from the dirt and I forced myself from being a dying rose to a cactus in a loveless desert. Why did you pick me? To leave me to die? I was underneath a tree, but at least out there I could see a clear sky. And I'm in the dark now. I don't know how many nights or days have gone by. And then you come back from smelling other flowers just to look at me and lie? So when he unlocked the closet and he looked at me, he gasped. I was no longer the beautiful flower that he picked when he passed. Why did you forget me, my love? I asked. And he said, because you started changing, so I start to laugh. But finally, he decided to leave and go. You see, I was his test flower that was too neglected to grow. And as he left, what do you know? I replanted myself and I started to glow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amy. Can you please give a great representation? Now, at the end of our 11th year with this competition, the beauty about the hybrid format is that the poets get to have their voices heard by the global community via the online streaming. And of course, to my fellow poets, what stories do you want to share with this international community? What do you want to tell them about yourself, about your country, about the Caribbean? And how are you going to use your story to see yourself in this international community and stage? All right. Now, unfortunately, we have some problems connected with our last virtual performer. So Amy will have closed off the virtual performances for today. So that means that we are going into the live poets right to the center. All right. So again, for all those streaming online, feel free to tell us who you enjoy out of all the virtual performances so far. Tell us who is your favorite poet as we now go into the live performances right here at the Writer Center. So the first person to kick off the live audition here today
will be Michelle Henry. Is Michelle here? All right, I see him coming up. Please put your hands together for our first live performer, Michelle Henry.
Down here is the most peaceful place, the most peaceful state. Though the stench, scent brings my nose to submission, I'll submit under here anyway. Besides, it's just me by myself anyway. So far from society anyway. One day, while walking down Charlotte Street, all my rage built up. I lift the lid up off of a manhole cover and boy, I jump in one time. I rather live underground than spend a blasted day in Trinidad. Like I rather live closer to the earth's mantle because I can't handle a next 24 hours. Here, you see down here, 10 men do dead in a day. In this hole, it have no crime. On the hole, down here, the rats does do aerobics on my back. The bridge by my spine has become a treadmill for rodents to trod on. Boy, I tell them, come on. I rather have conversations with the beast of the sewer than the beast bearing skin teeth Trinidadians who hide malice behind their back to seize your piece. Down here, the mosquitoes does play tug of war with my skin. I rather that than youth with a gun on the surface to tug and war with my skin when it starts to get cold. I will build a heap up of waste material to cover myself, and who the hell cares if I catch ringworms? Last time I checked, it have no parasites worse than them stink politics sinking their stinking hand, body, so axe into the nation. Watch how the nation infected with inflation. Who the hell cares? Who the hell say that down here stink? Last time I checked, it have nothing smelling worse than streets that don't have enough hearse to carry away the dead. Who the hell cares? Who the hell say that hell is a place underground? Boy, to hell with them. Last time I checked, have nobody down here with pitchforks. But in the nation and the streets at Trinidad, it have devils in all forms. Suits and ties. Whatever attire suits them, it's fine. No wonder why the country getting hotter and we don't notice. The ground we walking on is fire and brimstone, and know this. Deep underground there lives me, a Trinidadian who's seen so much. There's only so much my eyes could take. So I'll be down here in these stink black sewers for goodness sake.
All right. Thank you very much, Michelle. Ooh. All right, so that was quite a way to kick off the live performances here. And of course, we're going to go straight into our next performer. She goes by the name of Gabrielle Abdul. And I am hoping that she is ready to follow up that last performance. Now, Gabrielle, are you here? Present? All right, come right up. Yes.
Thank you. Silence. That is what you hear. But me, I have all my fears swirling round and round and up and down and in that beautifully cruel form of what if? What if I am not good enough? What if you're all lying to me? What if no one wants me? What if I can't be the person that you need me to be? What? It's all in my head? Of course, this is a war between me, myself, and I will admit that sometimes you get caught in the crossfire, and for that I'm sorry. I apologize. This is not what I desire. All I wanted was no. I'm sorry. I just keep getting backed into a corner, and I can't breathe. Stop. Nice and easy. One breath at a time. Breathe. See? I'm trying. It's hard and it's tiring, but I know I have to keep aspiring to be better. But what if there's just no such thing as better? What if it's all a lie? What if all the colors I'll ever see are black and blue with a splash of red as I make my bed with no choice but to lie in it? And I just, why? Why? It's not fair. It's not fair because I just want to be free from this. Because I don't know what to do anymore. Because these thoughts and these memories are just screaming at me. Don't you dare forget me. But how can I forget feeling trapped in my own skin, wishing I could just bleed out of it? Can't I just do that? I'm so tired. What if I just rest and I find peace? This is okay. I promise. No, we wouldn't have to see each other suffer. Yes. This is okay. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. Don't cry. You just need to breathe.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Now, I know we could do better for our live audience. Please put your hands together for Gabrielle. Come on, come on. All right, that's the energy. That's the energy we're trying to maintain here today, all right? Now, of course, with today being the last day of the auditions, just 30 poets will move on to the semifinals on March 25th and 26th. And out of those 30, only 15 will advance to the final round on April 30th. So keep in mind all the different poets you all are seeing here today, because some of them you may be seeing in the semifinal round. All right? So keeping it moving, we're going to go on to our next live performer. Her name is Maria Donald. Maria, do we have you here? All right, Maria, come on up to the stage. You all put your hands together for Maria Donald.
I have a confession to make. Hear me out. I might be the first Christian to remove the holy water from my mouth to say that it doesn't always feel like what Christ did was enough. I find it tough to fathom the paradox of being justified yet depressed by the realities of this world. Tongue-talking, fire-breathing believer battling with a distortion of God-given emotions. They are not stand up and speak out for fear of ridicule and rejection, and somebody saying depression is a demon. So we suffer in silence. My coping mechanism is to visualize the scenic slopes of the other side, the land flowing with milk and honey and peace and joy. I just want to approach the big man on his throne like, yo, God, I know you bought me with a high price, like with the blood of Christ, and my gift is grace to make it through trying times, but oh God, I ready to go now. I'm not sure if my thirst for death is based on the surety of my salvation or the depth of my depression, but all the same, in the arms of Christ is where I'd rather be. But until then, being a Christian and being alive is a call to duty. So I stand justified, washed, redeemed, locked, loaded, and ready to fire scriptures behind anybody bold enough to question my faith. I prepared to annihilate any loophole, to leave absolutely no room for misinterpretation, so you could sit down and call me rabbi, because school is in session, and the lesson today is why depression could never dispel, discard, or in any way defect the done deal of the 3 nails and 1 tree, so you could pierce my palms and hang me next to Christ, and I would die with a smile on my face, because what my God did is still enough. So as shells fall to the ground near my feet, and several soldiers die as casualties in the crossfire, and others aboard ship, I lace up my boots and put on my beret and stand in the front ranks for Christ. I might not always have the strength to reach for my weapon, but I will always have a shield. And I'll stand, and I'll stand, and I'll stand until the war is won, or until I'm martyred for refusing to break formation.
Right, I like the energy you're bringing out. Make some more noise for Maria Donald. Okay, so these poets are definitely bringing the heat right now with the live performances. I see the writer center starting to fill up a bit more as well. So that's very, very lovely to see. And of course, I hope those tuning in right now on Facebook and on YouTube, I hope you all are interacting and telling us in the comments who you all are enjoying the most right now. Of course, you can also go to the Instagram pages, Instagram and Twitter at National Slam TT, and interact with us there as well. Again, use the hashtags FCNPS 2023 and hashtag story to stage. So our next contestant is Joel Phillip. Joel, are you ready? Come to the stage, bro. Make some noise for Joel. Guys, please. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's good? Higher. Right there. Everybody hearing me good, yeah? All right, cool. Okay.
5 reasons why I love my auntie. 1, I think she's made of magic. Not sure if it's Black Girl or Obia, but I know she a different wavelength the way she could. Her way to rain cloud from miles away. She don't need Sigoni to show she rain when she sees thunderstorms in tree sways too. She always knows what to say. Her lips spill symphonies similar to Shakespearean sonnets such as, "Hey, the mother say you can touch that or when I dead, then you go low." Because my auntie knows pain. Only a woman like her could make any man drop to his knees. We call her Tropical Storm. The way she uproots her ex-men from the family tree 3. I find everybody have an auntie living foreign. One who finds that one island living boring, so they cross Atlantic and Caribbean Sea for new countries to experience Hurricane Tanti. Though Canada was too cold for Sandy, Maria had fun in Dominica. They weren't expecting her on the scene, but she definitely made their 2017. Flora had her dream going away party in Trinbago. She chose killer parties, though. I'm not sure 26 attendees knew that. They're probably in one big group chat, plotting how the only remittance they give in their hard head children is a reality check. If she wills to make the child respect the village that raised he, it's nothing for her to wreck and pillage the village. When it rains, it pours. But isn't that what aunties for? If these women didn't bring hell's fury forth, then who else would we be waiting for? If auntie decide to parang by we for a change, would God still be a Trini? Would we stay bold when auntie blows away the upholstery we failed to uphold? Auntie too nice to we. Always sparing Trinidad the rod and giving our older brothers wee licks, but she being nice for what? If the one who persists blows through chances 1 to 6, God, we've been ducking this cocktail for years. But if this is the only way we learn what's next should be good for both Gander and Drake. She could pander and fake and lie and say everything's fine. But it's no use standing idly by when it's her nephew high in the sky 5. If we fail to plan, then we plan to fail. We can't bucket and pail and wail to get bailout again. We've been blind for too long. We wrong one from Auntie Irma, or either we never learn or find a trend for what's to come. But will we stay blind when the galvanized roof fall in our garden? When it's our auntie we embalming, will we stop being so hard and we don't have to smell the rain to plan for it? We have the time now, so let's take it. Have a first aid kit, water, canned food could be as simple as a tin of cricks. Lay the bricks so an auntie come, we don't get hit for. 6. My auntie knows how to deal with children, husbands, and hurricanes. Somehow she finds a way to stand tall. Even when it's Peter who pays for fall, she's prepared for all, so she's not scared. And even the mighty kneel. I think we should learn from our aunties. Because who do here?
Now I know y'all can make some more noise than that. Well done, Joel, well done. Now, this event was born out of a need to increase the profile of spoken word art form here in Trinidad and Tobago. And today, these poets are doing just that. Now, I hope the performances thus far are encouraging the other poets to do the same and to come out here and really raise the game. All right? So, going on to our next poet, we have Dwayne Waldron. Dwayne, are you ready? Come on to the stage, bro.
Mother Earth. Day 6 began and God led the God-led procession to make man carved from the destiny of grace. This race was grace with the beauty of creator. God had a mission, a plan, a design of how to create her, but first he created him. so that he could lead creation's choir with hymns of adoration to welcome the final masterpiece placed together by the raw material of Earth Mother, by the hands of Creator Father. From Adam's side, he made her. This kind is a beautiful, complex creature, womankind from mankind, so be kind to her. God said, let us make man in our image. So when every father looks deep into the mirror of our mother's heart, he should see reflections of eternity's beauty, perfection in the redemption of a fallen race. God had to put Adam in a deep sleep so that woman came forth as his dream come true. Baked by the bread of heaven in the perfection of Eden's beauty. They came from the majestic hands of heaven's bakery, the raw material of the dust of the ground. This rib the Lord had taken from man, he made into a woman and brought her to D-man. Not brought her to D-man, but brought her to D-man. So she is now bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. She shall be called woman. She was taken out of man first, mother Eve, like the first part of the day evening. Woman, first mother on earth, mother earth, birth child 1, 2, then 1,000, then 1,000,000. Mothers march to the end of the earth, bearing the same pain of childbirth. How is it that a mother could be in so much pain to bring forth a child, and as the baby is born, she is filled with so much joy? To every mother who has ever had many sleepless nights under the candlelight of this sinful earth, Mother Earth, we salute you, who continue to birth beauty from within you. So never stop, never pause, only pause to rest in the assurance that God, our Heavenly Father, gave you rest, mother. Now rest on this Sabbath rest promise. To mothers is that if you remain faithful, your barrenness will become fruitfulness, and you would bring forth the man-child, Christ child from within you. Because you are the church, Mary, the bride of Christ married to God. Church, you bride, you mother, you carry the destiny of humanity in your fragile, gentle hands. 66 love songs from mother to man, from God to man. He used the womb of mother to move from God to man. So mothers stand at attention. We salute you. For every day and night you kept us in your hands and kept us in your hearts as you fought the greatest battles, praying for us on your knees. For these we are grateful and we love you. Sky will burst. Bride will go soon to heaven's glory. Here ends the beginning of redemption story. And to all mothers here today, see you in heaven.
All right, thank you very much, Dwayne. Now, those of us in the live audience, feel free to snap, feel free to clap. Enjoy these poets because they are giving us their soul right now, the best of the art form. And you can see why this is the biggest stage for spoken word with the biggest prize. Now, you wouldn't believe in 2012 when this competition started. It started with a very humble prize of just $1,000. Now, today, poets have the chance to win 50K. All right? So let's keep the fire burning. Our next auditioner will be Fedon Honorary. I hope I'm saying that. Fedon. My apologies. Fedon Honorary. I see you are present, so come up to the stage and give these judges everything you have.
Master of the killer oratory. Thank you. My fellow citizens, I bring to you tidings of woe and discontent, starvation and torment. In my most illustrious capacity as the Minister of National Food Insecurity, I am here to emphasize your importance when it comes to answering the most basic of questions. How do I nourish my body and feed my family in this most guava-ist of guava seasons, if I might be permitted to use such a colloquialism? Because I am the captain of this ship on which you find yourself a passenger out of sheer biological necessity. And I will navigate you through this Bermuda Triangle of uncertainty. On the one hand, you have climate change-induced agricultural degradation. On the other hand, you have tangled supply chains and shipping lanes provoked by my agents, Corona and Putin. And on the third hand, and yes, that is a chemically induced mutation, you have inflation, shrinkflation, and sufferation. So I will forthwith instruct my minions in the market, the parlor, and the grocery to target your visual acuity. Simply put, every time you are forced to buy something, somewhere, somebody will jerk out your eye. And while you're walking, stumbling around, blind and aimless, and next capitalist will come and demand a pound of flesh. Now, I know you might find this with some kind of morbid tragedy, but honestly, after 3 years of hearing about comorbidity and interventions about injections and ingestions to boost immunity and ward off infections, I am sure you would have little or no objection to giving up your last-born daughter, your first-born son, in order to procure a modicum of tomato and bygone. So maybe you were just sighing away on the dotted line with your own blood. And mark my words, that blood will come pumping, like the pulp from a smashed pumpkin when farmers start to hold their head and bawling because they realize a whole month's mortgage payment just went missing like a judiciary file of police ammunition. So I will insist most forcefully that all the youth who engaged in wrongdousness enlist in my National Unit for Predial Larceny so that they could harvest the cabbage prematurely, so that even your valorous attempts to ward off the virus with vitamins naturally might actually fast track you to the cemetery. I have tamed king dragons of which the mere name your unsophisticated tongue cannot pronounce. So whether it be locally sourced produce, starvation, induced supply chain, African snails, we will find reasons why when the freight costs descend, it has no difference on the final billing. Every man Jack had to eat, but I had to make a killing.
Thank you very much, Fedon. Now, we have another young lady by the name of, sorry. I am missing somebody before her. I get excited. I've seen some big names on the paper here. Some big names, and I get excited to see them. But before we get to those big names, we have someone by the name of Shaquille Charles. Shaquille? Okay. Shaquille, ready for them? All right, come up on the stage, bro. Make some noise for Shaquille Charles.
She smelled like raisins. A raisin in the sun. A raisin that you leave in the sun for too long. But she had a smile that was as blissful as the moonlight. Yo, not even the moonlight on its fullest night was as bright. Her smile made me realize that she is the one I needed to procreate with. I needed to be she X-man, stunt man. I needed to accomplish everything he feared, like to have a bunch of mini-me's and she's running around. It could be weird, but don't be scared because I'm a stunt man. See, we have our highs and we have our lows. To get high, you had to start low. This was an opportunity to prove that I could be the epitome of man himself. I was not about to only say the things that she wanted to hear, but the things that I was willing to work with. She is broken and I could be the one to fix it. I gave her the truth. Omitted. But first impression is everything, and I wasn't about to allow someone I could hold and mold to become cool in this lonely world. No. But we were blinded. Unrequited love. See, I looked for patience and she damn near made me impatient. You must not have heard me. I look for patience, but she damn near made me her patient. She was trying to mold it down into who she wanted to be with, instead of actually being with me for me and who I am. She was adorned by many and loved by a handful. That is a fumble, a literal handful, but I exhale. And with each step I inhale confidence. And I try 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 and I try. Why? When the lows came, the roller coaster was no more. She wanted to be so low. She wanted to be so low. She said, here's nothing. And it never made me happy. I said those things, shut up! Those words piercing through my heart like a harpoon. A harpoon shot at close range, and it felt strange because I thought Cupid used arrows. If I had to explain, it felt like razor blades rubbing against strings. Just the strings were made of my veins. It felt strange to hear the same tongue she used to say she loved me is the same tongue she used to say she hate me. If I had to explain, it's like I expose my imperfections, which she inhale to get high. But we are primitive beings, confused animalistic tendencies, offbeat, experience too many things, off-key, heard too many times often. To become vulnerable is exhausting. They say tragedy and silence, same address, but don't stress because you easily impress others. And what one don't want, another will surely treasure. Made me realize at the end of it all, I was less of a stuntman than I thought.
Yo, make some more noise for Shaquille right now. All right. So as you can see, the competition heating up. The heavy hitters are on the stage right now, and they're doing the thing. Now, speaking of heavy hitters, we have another face and name that is no stranger to the First Citizens National Poetry Slam stage. Without any further ado, I want to welcome Miss Danica Thomas. Make some noise.
Didn't your mother tell you to not answer when you hear them calling your name? When no one was around to hear them but you, sounding exactly like the people you knew? Didn't she say that answering was how they took your names too? That you were supposed to stay mute? Say a prayer or two, boy, that was the only move. It hold you down in your sleep before. You couldn't move or breathe or scream. Where were your prayers, boy, to drive the paralysis out of your limbs? Where was the WD-40 to exercise the stiff out of your joints? Why you didn't listen? You were supposed to get in the house before 6. Walk in backwards when you're coming in after dark. You was always supposed to turn your back away from the dark, but you thought it was kicks. That them characters didn't exist. Your father was folklore. Why you feel your mother used to call him a dog at night? He used to change his entire form, used to pull chains and drag a coffin with God knows what in it around the tongue. It must be true. Is either them jeans missed you or you padlock, or who your mother didn't warn you? Give you enough bush bath, bathe you with enough blue soap. She didn't say stay away from them with their feet turned backwards always, running in the wrong direction. Them damn doings always misleading people, children, boys who look just like you, dark skin and of African origin, and they don't care if you're 12 or 21, they coming. Recruiting, collecting the bodies of boys who don't listen. They have no facial features but mouth, you know. All they have is mouth, you know, and she do everything to keep you away from them. Work 2 jobs to make ends meet, buy flat screen, PlayStation, anything to keep you off the news station, football boots, so you could learn to beat and cut a man on the court instead of beat and cut a man and end up in court, send your Sunday school, light candles on the mount, do everything so you could be anything you could ever dream of, and that's what you choose to be a doing, to always be planted in front of a block, to always be running, always have your hand out like if somebody owe you something. It's boys like you who does only wish you could take it back when you end up with a bullet in your back, boy. I wish that every child that loses their way could find it back, go back to the beginning, go back, go back, go back, and listen.
All right, please make some more noise for Miss Danica Thomas. I see any judges' faces lighting up right now with the kind of talent that they have to judge. You know, definitely some difficult decisions on the way. But let's continue to give the judges some more work to do. We have another contestant by the name of Ayana Dodds. Ayana, are you ready for us? Come to the stage. You all make some noise for Ayana Dodds.
Their self. If I don't love you, who will? If I don't love you, you think they will? Look at you, stepping into the woman you dreamed of. You have a career, your own money. Your money up. Look at you with your hair done, knocking down those battles one by one, carrying yourself well because you are blessed. But do you love you? Do you take the time to deal with your emotions and stuff? Like that self-doubt, or are you good enough? Who sees you when things get tough? Or do they see you with your head up, afraid to let that crown fall, going back and forth, trying to figure out if it's worth it all? Who hears you? Not what you say, but what you wish you can say, when all you do is work, but secretly wishing you can play. Just a little, because you know you have bills to pay. But just to take a deep breath and to know that today is going to be a good day. But are you going to love you? And I ain't talking halfway. I'm talking about that self-love, the deepest love, agape. That love that holds you and keeps you in a happy place. That intense love, the love that takes you through any day. That love sees you and makes a bad day a better day. That love, it hears you and makes all your fears go away. That love loves you. So you love you.
All right. Now I need everyone who is tuning in on the live stream on YouTube and Facebook to try and outdo those here in the Writer Center by making some noise and showing some love for all these poets. All right. Now, of course, continue both for people viewing online and for those of you here. Feel free to log on to our different social networks, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, like I said, comment, tell us who do you all want to see make it through to the semifinal round. Now, next up, we have Vilma Susanka. Am I saying that correctly? All right, Vilma. Yes, y'all make some noise. We have everyone being represented here today. Vilma, please come to the stage. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone. Hello to the judges, and profuse thanks to Boca's Lit for Fest for this lifetime opportunity. And the title of my poem is On the Untimely Death of a Child. Oh, why come we into this world? I am certain that no one knows. A million people, a billion explanations hold but no one really knows. Some sages seek to pacify. Is their past life they're paying for? They say when relatives die and we cry. My child, karma is God's universal law. I am sure God knows how much we bear. I am sure He knows we suffer. From birth, a child needs so much care, and we give them all we have to offer. Oh, what fault was it of His? Just so His time has come? So early His karma done, and now this? That cannot be fair to some. At funerals, alas, people cry, speak, and go. Some say He's with God on another stage, but what do they really know? My heart is about to burst with rage. Where is that God who we hold so dear? Is this proof of His power? Why did He give us? Why did He give me this to bear and turn my life so sour? I thank you.
Yo, please, can I ask you all to make some more noise for Miss Vilma Susanka? I'm loving this right now. All ages, all races, all genders being represented right here on this stage. And for that, we have to thank First Citizens and, of course, the Boca Slit Fest for making this competition possible. So, again, we have some heavy hitters today. I am really pleased to be able to host these auditions today because some amazing talent is on display today. And of course, we have a lot of people who are already familiar with the stage, some previous winners, and I'm very, very happy to welcome to the stage right now, Mr. Deron Sandy.
Jamal's eulogy like his death had a pounding rhythm. The knocking on the door created the same stretching tension and his granny's knees snap. Granny, sit down. The sight of blue and gray suits meant either summons or lockdown. Summons usually for child support and lockdown if someone's son was shut down. Granny just posted pension as pity for her grandson's son. So even the silent savior on the wall clock watching Passover knew that this was no summons. But some soul pass over here. Police officers don't remove headgear to bear bad news. Trails of blood in the air, place death in the dew. The ghetto sick with pneumonia. Young black boys have HIV, jealous because they could poison your soul from a distance. And today, Granny felt the full effect of that poison in an instant. Her guts wrenched. That was long before the policemen came because she saw bright flashes kissing darkness by the basketball court. And that wasn't no games. Neither tea and tech fixing the broken floodlights. Those bright flashes were angels blinking, and as angels blinking, bullets sinking into darkness because dark skin is adequate light for gun sports. Pray to God that your jeans short so bullets could graze over your head. And pray to God that your jeans short so you could run comfortable, else your dead granny was tall. And her grandson had a passion for fashion. So genetics plus skinny jeans betrayed God's life ration. 310. Man, you could count 310. Minus the 3. Pension is reached the ghetto by the age of 17. At that age, what he doing in possession of a high-powered rifle? Granny screaming with a Bible as these screams mixed with scripture could stifle the course now inherited to her son. The fourth generation, he go and be forced in a direction no different to his dead 17-year-old father, age 1. Lungs unimmune to marijuana. Age 2, learn to walk, so by age 3, he could learn to run. Age 4, learn the alphabet. A for abandon, B for battle, C for confuse, and G for gun. He didn't skip D, E, F, and it's just D, E, F says what it spells. Stay deaf to the pounding rhythm of bullets that fire up eulogies, and stay deaf to the incessant prayers offered up by Granny, and stay deaf to the government who to grannies with dead grandsons don't give a damn, and stay deaf to the crime plan placed in place to pace the look of I don't give a damn offer the government face, and say deaf to the target that never targets the tyrants that target the black man to make targets out of black men. I'd call it white collar racket. You Africans always just target practice beyond the cycle of madness. What can Granny hope for when she herself came out of a generation of family war? I say, Granny, hear the score. I love your past tense. Because if we could speak the present past its existence, then hope might exist in this very moment. So fourth generation, not fight, fought. We fed up fighting with the present. They never told us that the young black male covered in an honest sweat from the toil is the wealth of this nation. We are black oil. We are fourth generation, fourth generation. If we recover from this war, we shall remove covers off our bodies riddled with bullet sores. Fourth generation, wounds shall close and blood stains shall evaporate off our clothes. Fourth generation, your fight will touch the ears of those once too hardened to hear, once having to bear the weight of a wicked history on two small shoulders. Fourth generation. When this fight is over, we would have silenced that deadly pounding, that did. It's now black triumphant heart song, and our wives shall give birth to new sons who will ask Daddy, why does your heart beat? In that peculiar reverberation, we'd wear triumphant smiles and said it's because we fought generation.
I'll drop this a bit. But y'all, please make some more noise for Darren Sandy. Jeez. You had me holding my head in the audience there, man. All right, so going on to our next performer, we have Philip Storm. Philip, are you ready? Y'all, please help me welcome Philip to the stage. Make some noise.
I'm not doing it again. No. I'm not doing it again. This pain is driving me insane. 1 minute I'm strong, next minute I'm weak. 1 minute I'm weak, next minute I'm strong. It's like a never-ending cycle that keeps going round and round until something could be found to break the curse, hit reverse, restore balance in the universe. But first, 2 lives in one. Yes, 2 lives in one. A paradigm shift or paranormal behavior in need of a savior, because I am a slave here looking for redemption in this master-slave equation. So without thinking, like a honing beacon signaling, my body aligns itself to an unexplained calling, marching to the rhythm of uncontrollable lust. I must, it's just that the spirit keeps calling me. So I smile and flirt with her innocently, make plans to go out with her secretly, destroying all evidence of suspicion and adultery, like a thief in the night. No song, no sight, just a dark shadow in quick flight, moving stealthily as if subliminally controlled by a higher power, a lion poised and ready to devour. But I'm not doing it again. No, I'm not doing it again. This voice in me crying and begging to be free, fighting frantically. Oh God, this is real pain. It's driving me insane, but it looked like she have me hooked on she sugar cane. Oh gosh, it's sweet. It's sweet. So whether in conquer or in defeat, my feet dancing to a beat, no retreat, no surrender. But is it just me? Or is this sorcery or some twisted form of mental slavery that unconsciously binds me to a fate? Wait, you all know how long I tried to lose weight? Since I was 8, it's a constant debate of a plate or how much I ate, but I'm not doing it again. No, I'm not doing it again. They say no pain, no gain, but it's driving me insane. As soon as I make up my mind to eat healthy, my belly negotiating with my mind for a KFC. All you think it's easy? The struggle is real, bro. This is a race. Who will win? I don't know. So on your marks, get set, go. Yes, boy. Healthy foods in front. Yes, Israel pace. Fruits and vegetables like they're winning the race. No sign of bread and butter. Not even cheese space. Oh, God. 2 inches off my waist. It's a quick chase until 2 doubles slap me in the face. and erase everything. Back to square one. So all you please now, man, just don't put me on a scale to fail, because you know we in TNT pride ourselves as being free, forged from the love of liberty, but are we? So I'm not doing this again. No, no, no. I'm not doing it again.
All right, thank you very much, Philip. And like I said, as you can see, some top class talent on display today. Now we are going to go into a very quick and short break just to give everybody time to stretch their legs, catch themselves, and we'll be back with some more live performances right here at the Writer Center. Of course, we are doing the 2023 auditions for the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, the 11th edition, and of course, we will be back very soon with more poetry. Y'all take care, and we'll be back soon. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the biggest stage for spoken word in the Caribbean that carries the biggest prize. We are here for the 2023 auditions for the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, the 11th edition. Of course, I am your host, Tevin Gill, and we are here with our distinguished panel of judges, and we are ready to kick back off today's auditions. We already had a lot of amazing poets come up on the stage as well as audition via the virtual format, but now we are going back to more live auditions right here at the Writers Center. So, getting right back into the action. Is anyone ready for some more poetry? If you're ready for more poetry, say more poetry. All right. So again, to everyone who is also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, of course, you can use the hashtags hashtag FCNPS2023 or hashtag story to stage. Go on our social profiles at National Slam TT, interact with us, and of course, leave some comments about who you want to see make it through to the semi-final round on March 25th and 26th. So, with our next performer, we have Mr. Ronaldo Mohammed. Can you all please put your hands together and help me welcome Ronaldo to the stage?
What else to do in a civil war when you're targeted by explosive father, putting you on blast every morning before school? Whole neighborhood knew my home was like Chernobyl, a place in fragments, territory to turn you toxic, but I learned to live through that Cold War, tiptoe on shells, tried not to trip off a man who would blow up at any time. Looking through the scope of my life, you'd see my father teach me rage at close range. Kept love arm's length. My father's mouth rifled rounds of insults before I left for school. So what was this blasted boy supposed to do? If not bear the hollow hole my father bore within me. Every day in that house, I lived with the safety off, constantly under fire, being told, you're good for nothing, boy. So when I left for school on mornings, I was good for nothing, except to mine all that anger placed and encased within me. The automatic response, go from being stepped on to stepping into the boots of my father. No bargaining, just barging in, barge on, bombarding boys, barreling through hallways at school. Everyone knew if you were within range, you was getting popped because I was always a step farther away from peace. My homeroom was no buffer zone. I peppered my peers, picking apart people, precision rifle my mouth, assaulting the weak. My main target, me. Scrawny boy who wore butter bullet on feet had to face defeat daily. Cafeteria at lunchtimes was his stomping grounds, and I was an overrun city. Every day was D-Day. Had to remember the mission. Shh. I tiptoe past this toxic tyrant when he'd be passing through, because he'd be lurking at 12 gauge to firearms, asking you, we have in them pockets. His hands would search them like bloodhounds, picking up every scent. Now, what would you do if you too were hounded and hunted? Hobbling through hallways, I always carry an X on my back. Existed as exile, experiencing excruciating execution. School chapel. Chaplain used to say, pick up your cross and walk there. Through the crosshairs, chin up, smile, turn the other cheek. Even when being riddled with ridicule, don't bend the knee to the pressure. You'll be like those 3 Hebrew boys, fired upon, but still coming out alive. Problem was, unlike them, no one was with me in the crossfire. Teachers would say, they don't pay me to deal with this child, so I resigned to take life in my own hands, turn the other cheek. So when I turn out the furnace, he'd see the face of the beast he brewed, I vowed to. Let lips Lucifer boy stare at me the wrong way. I'd stay back hard, just so he'd see the devil in my gaze. Now watch how hell come. Welcome to the gates after school. I lit him up like atomic bomb. Grab him by the collar like, dog, come here. I turned his shirt the color of carnage, red. Red everywhere. Next day, news day, bad blood, bad boy, bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. And what now? Y'all ask who raised these blasted boys. Make we so damn destructive, but what else to do in a civil war when you're targeted by explosive?
All right. So we started back in fine fashion, and we want to keep it moving with some more great poetry. So we have a young lady coming up right now. She goes by the name of Cheyenne Caliste. Please put your hands together and help me welcome to the stage, Cheyenne.
A sick, sullen soldier lies in the valley of death's shadow. Attempting an escape from ego, he sleeps a slumber which conjures dreams that summon lost sheep to slaughter. This sick, sullen soldier is awaiting the call of his number. He emits the energy of an emergent rapture, frail body failing to embody life because life is a light which he cannot contain. This sick, sullen soldier suffers great pain from a war he cannot see. What does a man dying by the sword say to the Lord to make himself right? How does he justify his desire to fight when patience and peace is key? What do you say to the Lord when you are really sorry? When your conscience is the only mechanism prompting apology, but your ego making you to know them men they deserve to their dread, them men sick in the head, they take bread out your mouth. And quite frankly, my dialect only understood by 99% of the country. So after grave consideration, I had to doctor up them men that make you lose your walk. God, I sure he understand horse. He's a man that don't pre-men thing, but fire and brimstone. And them men feeling they could rank on men trying to make a honest living, who feeling they could take without giving. But deep down, all this sick, sullen soldier seems to remember is the way he liked those men at his mercy, the way their eyes could manage no privacy, so he saw their souls solemnly declaring apology, and it made him think, what separates his sorry from their sorry? Does God forgive men who abandon compassion willingly, men whose desires come before his commandments? Or does he turn his face away? This sick, sullen soldier in battle with ego is left to wonder whether the valley of death's shadow is punishment. He is afraid to accept his wrong, so he tries to avoid judgment. But who could hide from the Lord? What does a man who believes in his sword say to the Lord after his last fight? How, Lord, do such men make themselves right? They cannot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cheyenne. Please make some more noise for Cheyenne. All right. So, moving right along, we have Daniel Lutchman as our next contestant. Daniel, are you here? All right, step right up. Yo, please put your hands together. Show the poet some love.
Be wary, not of the water that runs, but of the cup it's poured into. For that cup is not what it appears to be, a holster of permanent water seeking future memory. Maybe it's misunderstood. No, it can't be. Self-influence, not really. On purpose, that terrifies me. So then it's perfect. We'll see. And so it invited the poor, it never demanded or contracted anything more, using simplicity as its law. Why blame it for having holes, being dirty or poison soaked? I can't do that, can I? What if it is what it always was, just more apparent now after being provoked? Yes, but think, what if it convinced you otherwise? You are for me as I am for you, it whispers, selling lies. Being a perfect being in reality, though being real in reality is never perfect. That should have been your first sign, my author. Your first clue to realize that time and passion, they don't correlate from the blue. Let's say it is as good as it's portrayed, only not ready to be filled, forming a different kind of poison. You are for me as I am for you, you demanded. Will you still blame the cup, my author? Or are you now the brewer of confusion? Maybe I am. Will you then own the consequence for toxic creation? Maybe it's best to pour yourself into yourself and notice what beckons action within action. Thank you.
All right. Like I said before, folks, feel free to clap, feel free to snap, but make sure and show these poets some love right now. All right? Of course, for those of you streaming, make sure and utilize the comment section. Tell us who you all are enjoying the most. Now we have another talented young man coming up right now. I remember he auditioned last year as well, and I'm happy to welcome him to the stage right now, Mr. Ronaldo Briggs. Please make some noise for him.
Who you crying for? Boy, wipe your eye. I thought you like it when the real Melandros march out and gunshots start to fly. Get low. Get low. Get low. Remember? Or you forget some people knees can't bend so fast. So when the shooting starts, that is their last moment. Last moment to see, taste, touch, or feel anything good about this life. No more opportunities to say I love you to their husband or wife. No more chances to kiss the children goodnight, but that's all right. Right? Because for you, the music is just real vibes. So why you teary-eyed when the music start to play itself out in real life, brother? Look how long we tell you Trinidad music creating a culture of murder and all kind of crime. But you don't believe me? You don't want to take my word for it, so we go ask somebody else, like Diana. Who had she not cracked back further than I could remember? But you remember when you was dancing in the zest? Singing about putting some crocodile teeth in a man's chest. Sex outside. Now you're vexed when you can't walk the street safe at night. Causing how arguments move from fist fights to lead spraying, praying things get better whilst you're still playing the music that perpetuating the mess. And don't ask me why I'm getting so vexed. Because every day I open my window, I see some little youth men on that tree and they banging their head to the beat of the song like zombies. Them boys looking lifeless. Next thing you know is only candle in the road and I realize to not put another life less, so don't ask me why I'm getting so vexed. Because I hear you screaming from the depths of your soul, Black Lives Matter. 2 days later, in a party singing about the next Black Life to Murder BLM. Don't ask me why I'm getting so vexed. Because the maths can't maths yet how over 100 souls in 6-foot holes and we enrich 2 months yet. Don't ask me why I'm getting so vexed. And don't tell me boy now, Lord, I just music that don't influence. Cast your mind back to Mr. Killer. Who had you moving from post to pillar up to now you can't hear pick up something without running. You feel a man can't hear kill him without trying. But brother, sister, don't stress. Because I feel like I come to the end of my ranting address. Yes, in conclusion. If you like the music that glorifies the murder, if it turn out to be your auntie, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, or other, God forbid, wipe your eye.
You just lost your permission to cry.
Is it too much to ask y'all to make a little bit more noise for Ronaldo Briggs? If y'all want to see him in the semifinals, say Ronaldo. All right, that's the energy, man. I like that. Now again, a reminder, only 30 contestants will be making it to the semifinals on March 25th and 26th. Again, only 15 will be advancing to the final round on April 30th. So keep an eye out for these different poets. And again, let us know who you want to see advance. So up next, we have none other than Mr. Javon Ford. Again, no stranger to the stage. So come on up.
Yes, I hope so.
You treat me like I'm not supposed to be here. How to make my escape through whichever window open. Sometimes I stand outside this very bedroom window hoping to be with her year round. But I know my purpose, to seduce the soul for you to be happy. I know my role and function as all good ornament do. Stay silent until summoned by someone sulking over someone, sucking the soul out of them. Girl, tell him, I know your wife well and a doctor. Indoctrinated her into the art of going low. Each time you unable to provide, I put on a show with the midnight rubber. I hear she bawl how you bald. She says she asked for money and you ain't get she none at all. I know all too well the smell of when things not right at home. How she does find herself on the road. Eyes peel to pre a piece. Palance through the pews and me a priest. There, Keith. Meanwhile, your job? I see all the partners she had before you, be it a people's partnership or counterfeit part of it. I was there before all who thought they had a chance with her. I stand in the shadows and dance with her, a special kind of dingole, and she thinks it love, but we know better. The only way to keep this relationship going is if everybody involved pretends as if everybody involved not involved. I revel at the thought that you thought you could keep her happy without me. Dog, if I gone for too long, she's be doubting your competence. Wait. Listen. I know how this looks. A random, handsome man inside the house you govern. If the one thing I loved somebody else, I too would be bothered. But no amount of blood money could do away with me, Dan. Founded on the freedom of shackled feet, I am the embodiment of outside man. So you mad if you feel it's just the twins I land in many man land before. Many I land before. I've been gone for 2 years and in 2 weeks Tobago got her own version of me already. I was ready to do the same for Farley, because while you left her alone, I was there. Late nights on the road, I was there. Even while you was home, I was there. I am just as much a part of this relationship as you, and you know it. I am the backbone. When she leaves, I'm the only reason she comes back home. You need me. Need me. So how come you treat me like I'm not supposed to be here? Like the 2 weeks you give me is enough. Let's be fair, please. Carnival is more than a side piece. And I'm saying I had to replace nobody. But don't treat me like I'm not supposed to be here, girl. Tell him. Tell him you love me. Tell him you want to be with me. Don't let us be another nil-nil battle where nobody don't win, girl. Tell him, please. I can't do this without you, girl. Please. Don't leave.
All right, we getting some interesting stories with these poems here today. But you know that's what we do, and we're encouraging people to get creative and to tell a variety of stories that, like I say, could impact and also resonate with not just us in the audience here, but like I say, the global community, thanks to the hybrid format. So going into our next performer, we have Daniel Lajanes. Daniel, are you ready? Come to the stage. Make some noise for Daniel.
My mother always said, it takes a village to raise a child. That's what she taught. That was when Nana and Tanti Merle were neighbors and their children seldom fought. That was when my house is your house and discipline showed no favor. That was when children could be seen outside playing and walking to school together. Those were the good old days of marble pitch, hopscotch and moral, pel de pan and scooch. But those days have been long gone, replaced with bitterness, resentment, animosity, and scorn. Now is every man for himself. People are easily offended, some always ready to attack, seeking ways to justify their behavior with opinions rather than facts. Now, parents act like children, and children act like they're grown. The lack of discipline, production, and tolerance, that behavior stems from the home. I remember Mr. Switch, aka the rod of correction. If he only see you going astray, he's sure to give you direction. No need for timeout, suspension, or after school detention. You're playing your hard of hearing. He knew what to do. Now, parents want to be their child's best friend. So instead of discipline, they're quick to defend, jumping in to fight amongst children. Where will this get us in the end? Imagine, even teachers have no say. Left to deal with children from broken homes, them facing violence every day. Since corporal punishment has been removed with no alternatives for disobedience, it's come as you are, do as you please, to a generation of vipers whose appetite we must appease. I miss the good old days when I know times have changed. Why hasn't it changed for the better? Why aren't we our brother's keeper? I miss the good old days when adults spoke and children listened. When respect for the elder was more than just a fast. When good morning and good evening were exchanged as strangers passed. When love could be felt, seen, and heard. When there was healing and encouragement in every spoken word. When opinions were expressed and ideas taken into consideration. Because not only does it take a village to raise a child, it takes villages to raise a nation.
Yeah. I want to thank the audience, of course, for keeping that energy up, showing the love to the poets, and keeping them encouraged and, of course, confident to be able to come up on the stage, because it's not easy to come up and do what they're doing at all. So definitely give them that encouragement, give them that support, and let's continue with the show. So up next, we have Tamara Ali. Tamara, are you here with us? All right. Make some noise and help me welcome to the stage Tamara Ali.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah. I believe in heaven because I believe that there are plum trees and smart girls and honeybees. I believe in hell because I believe that there are men with loaded guns and heartbreaks. I believe in my mother, who cried out during labor and would cry out if I ever grew up to become her. I believe in God because I believe in mothers. I believe that human beings are like ants, crawling around concrete covered grass, and that the people in the sky must laugh at us because to them we're just birds flying straight into our own reflections painted in glass. I believe in poetry and fairy tales and love. However, the difference between those three things is something I've yet to discover. Yes, those three things, I don't believe they can exist without one another. I believe that there's no point in believing because if something is real, it is real and it will continue to exist even after I've been buried and eaten by insects and no longer capable of believing in it. Yet, here I am, believing as much as the Catholics I love to mock because if we only believe in the things that don't need belief to exist, you know, the scientific stuff, some people would never find peace. And regardless of what you believe, I hope we can all see that society is already disturbed enough. I don't believe, but can I pray that one day a Christian and an atheist can shake hands without disgust and both believe that peace is a must. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tamara. Me adjust the mic yet again. All right, so we keeping it moving. You all enjoying the show so far? Yeah. All right, you ready for more poetry? You all know what to say? More poetry. All right, all right, all right. So our next spoken word artist goes by the name of Levi John. Levi, you ready to take the stage? Come on, it's your stage. Come tell your story. Make some noise, y'all, for Levi.
What is happiness? Is it a feeling or is it the anticipation of a feeling? We look up, we look down, and we look all around. But we can be happy. Just to be alive, we know that we can strive. What is happiness? Is it a feeling? Is it a love? Be happy and not sad. Be happy and not glad. Stay alive and strive. We all smile and we all laugh. But are we really happy deep down inside? Wealth matters, money matters, but money also scatters. Friends come and go. But in the end, if they were not happy, what is there to show? People believe in real things, but does real things make a difference of happiness? I, as a person, was once a prisoner. Like the Twilight Zone, I am now a prison officer. I walked through, in Port of Spain, the different divisions of the condemned. When I look at men who sentenced to hell, when I look at men who sentenced to death, it brings chills up the spine of those who can't even whine. What is happiness? What is happiness? Thank you.
Y'all, please make some more noise for Levi John. All right. So we have just a few more performances, but I hope you all are enjoying them so far as much as I am. Next up, we have Petal Thompson. Can y'all please make some noise and welcome Petal to the stage.
It's okay. That will shake off some of the nervousness. I'm holding something. Okay. Good day. Click. Drink to shrink. The top wonder tea that helps you lose 5 pounds in 5 days. Lower stress, lower your cholesterol, and aids in weight loss. Click. My teacup is my lifeline. The tea that bruises my doubt and imperfections. With every sip that slips past my lips, it reminds me of the fat that burns within. Every thought of weight makes me weightless. As I reminisce on the advertisement that says, I can finally make a statement if I just drink. So I drink and drink. Because drinking to shrink is the link that connects the gap between me being ugly and an opportunity to become beautiful. It's no secret that being black and being fat are synonymous. If you're one of the two, might as well be anonymous. Or if you're the two, like me, well then you see reprehensively reality. Regrettably, there's only one choice. Lose the fat so you can win and have a slim chance of becoming somebody that nobody makes fun of. So I drink to shrink. As physical exercise feels like slow torture to my complicated infrastructure. Now, please, don't judge me. Rapid results are what I require to shield me from the fiery darts of sharp tongues that stab and cut through the depths of my soul like savage warriors, boring holes in my esteem, making me feel unwholesome, unworthy of my dream job, unworthy of a particular outfit, unworthy of a legit doctor's visit. Doc ascribing everything to the need for weight loss. I'm lost because when I enter a room, someone says, no, we are crowded. Emotions shrouded. As I'm singled out on the taxi stand, you paying for 2 seats. Immediate defeat, and my feet just keep walking. They say you have nothing to worry about. You have 2 degrees, but the degrees I've labored to plant are easily uprooted in seconds as I post a body shot on my story, my reel, or my feed. So I feed myself tea. I drink to shrink. Because when I do the calculations of the figures, negative 5 pounds in 5 days multiplied by 5 weeks, it just might create a negative reaction to my plus size figure, or it might help me figure out why am I really here on this earth. Get a support system, they say. I do have a support system. They're called my parents. They tell me I'm beautiful just the way I am, but aren't they supposed to say that? They tell me you're just big bone. That's no consolation. Big bone might be a pat on the back for a certain gender, but when spoken to me, you're surely my offender. So, congrats to me. I've drunk and I've shrunken. Now I am so small, I can barely see who I really am. Was I just interested in the glam? Now I can post not only headshots, but why is my head feeling like I just got shot? Well, everyone likes the new me, but did they sincerely really knew me? I don't even really know who I am. LGBTQI. Why not let's add F to that gender? Because you see, me, I no longer want to be trans slender.
Yo, please make some more noise for Petal Thompson. Some powerful topics coming up here today on this stage. So going into our next performer, we have another young lady who I'm sure is going to come and blow us all away. Please put your hands together and welcome Miss Renessa John.
I got it. That was, yeah. That seems okay. All right. The name's Janessa. Hi. Okay. My father complains that I make him out to be a bad person. I never seem to remember all the good he's done, and I wonder if he knew how well he trained me to hold my tongue. I went from lying about where these bruises came from to not defending you. I mean, isn't this what you wanted? For me to stay quiet, silent, still. The way I learned to hold my breath behind closed doors in case the argument ever needed intervention. You trained my ears to know what the heaviness in your footstep meant or the movement of our days went. And on most days, our household was at war. And we, walking blindly in a minefield, hoping not to step on a trigger, you taught me that the word love was only accompanied by explosions, emotions, or tick, tick, ticking time bomb, which is to say that you accepting anything meant what came next was probably a bad thing, but forced me to remember. Remember when you took us for ice cream? When you showed up to school meeting, showed up to competition, showed up to graduation, as if all he didn't want was a show, as if he didn't just show up to be senior. I remember the way my heart would stop every time I was around him, how he tried to throw me out on the highway, talked about putting food on the table like I was only hungry for one day. We lived in the same space, and I barely knew his name. But boy, how I hated his face. And at times, it's the only thing I see when I look in the mirror and I feel broken. Because every time I speak, I hear the voice of my mother, and this must be what it feels like to fall in love with a man so versed in playing hide and seek. You learn to count the seconds of how long it would take for him to hide you before you could find yourself. So, excuse me if I don't give him his medals because he had kids. See, he was only a father when people were looking, pretending he was anything more than a glorified sperm donor. Like the only time I was worthy of being his daughter is when I made him look good. He says I dwell in the past too much. I shouldn't dwell on old things. Or maybe I haven't gotten over them yet. Doesn't like that every time I write about him, it makes him sound like Ian-ish. Like he ain't raised his kids. Like he don't love his truth. Seems he don't like the truth. He is tired of never being the superhero in my stories. Then imagine how I feel. How it felt to be told that he'll never be nothing, and when he like that. The thing that I needed him. And I'm not saying he was never wrong, but absence became the only father I knew his presence was anything but a gift. So it makes sense as to why I hated Christmas and birthdays so much. Imagine how it felt to be forced to be mature. Like young skin with an old soul singing praises of hands falling on her wasn't a problem. My mother took 4 walls, made them into a home, and you put holes in them. She hung photos over them, hoping all the anger was finally out. Remember, you taught me to bite tongue and swallow words, the screams that came from the hollow auditorium of my chest. They echo in this haunted house of a body, taught me to stay. Shh. Remember how we held funerals in the living room? Buried your shortcomings under the rock so you'd feel man enough. See, this battlefield was already perfect place to raise children, and we were used to fighting. Got bullets in our skin and moved with shadows in the night. Remember how you warned me about men like you. The ones in sheep's clothing. See, they are meat, but we become the meals on their plates they preyed upon, pretend to love. The ones that trap you, force you to live in haunted houses with them. Don't you remember when you became an angry spirit walking these halls, never to be seen, but always wanting to be heard? Remember when you called my name and no one answered? The same way I took nothing and became something just like I was made without you. Remember all the times you forced me to remember.
And the funny thing is, she always asks me to remember. And I say, how could I ever forget? That these memories are anything more than imagination. Remember?
If you all enjoy that one, make some noise right now, please. Yeah. So y'all think we're done? Y'all ready to done? Are y'all ready to go home? All right. So let's continue with some more amazing poetry right here at the 2023 auditions for the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. Up next, we have Kieran Isaac. Kieran, are you ready? Let's go. Y'all make some noise and help me welcome Kieran to the stage.
Good afternoon. Human population 1.56 million. Pothole population 1.56 million and one. Turn left by the yellow house that's actually green and then go past the two big pothole, you can't miss it. A helpless citizen drives into a Rima and comes out Barakpa? What the actual hell? I cannot for the life of me fathom how the country with the largest repository of natural asphalt in the world could be experiencing this lackery. We ship asphalt to Africa, Europe, South America, and Australia. Good day, mate. Give me back my pitch. Then it's pong, 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 not the song of Exodus, but the genesis of another pothole that come to mash up everything. Then the revelation of the great pretender, Mrs. Wasser, aka Water and Sinkhole Authority, like a treacherous mistress in an accent. Well, the last time upon which we intervened in the road, the integral quality of the pipelines was jeopardized. Jeopardize nothing, because right now you're all jeopardizing my mental health living in this hellacious place. I fed up, go by my mechanic, spending thousands of dollars on my car, who is called Baquisha, because, oh my God, she's so sweet. For him to tell me something about suspension. Well, suspend your rubbish, brother man, because I have no money. Then he comes back again. He talks about wheel misalignment and damage to the shock absorbers. Well, I need a drink to absorb this shock because I have no money. He comes back once again with the audacity about perpendicular line and horizontal. I'm gonna go, thank you. I heard it and I'm feeling it too. But what about me? When I fall in a pothole, I just feel like Adele because right now we're rolling in the deep and we could have had it all if someone had a semblance of a grasp on this situation. So what next? Wasa and ministry continue this imploding tirade like a pair of scorned, dissatisfied lovers? More aggravated citizens filling holes with cones, sticks, mud, pitch, and more manure for me to come home looking and smelling like. What next? We gonna put in the middle of the road a donkey? Well, I had to be. I am a man who don't have much. I don't have much money, and I definitely don't have any more patience. But I have some potholes. What I could get with that? Thank you.
Truer words have never been spoken. Please make some noise for Mr. Kieran Isaac. I definitely feel that one, boy, like a pothole. I feel that one. So next up, we have Marcus Hazel. Can you all please make some noise and give a hearty Writer Center welcome to Mr. Marcus Hazel.
Hey guys. Good evening.
I've been told to stop being lazy. Again, book from the judges.
Yeah, I'm fine, man. Thank you very much, man. Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just forget the mask. This piece is not about COVID, by the way. Yes. My name is Marcus Hazel. I'm a poet. This piece is entitled Trinidad, My Trinidad. Forged from the love of red, white, and black, Afro mellow conscious, broken English in my tongue, a pan so that Pelham could drum. Nationalidad, Trinidad and Tobagonian identity. Light skin Rasta Douglas, Ashe, Assalamu alaikum, East Indian, Syrian, Chinese proclaims. Sign me a check, no shame. Nation Story owns 2 signs. Trinidad and Tobago, 2 tides, high and low, sun or rain, a 2-colored space. A cooler of races loves the space but has to state it. Sometimes spoken word synthesizes theorizing subjections, saluting status quo sooner than later. All right, bet. I'd state straight up. You bet. Red or yellow? Best bet is strip off. When the government that comes into power spends at 2 years, much less 7, we sell out for a political campaign for next to nothing. They put their tongues where the stamp is. Blue note, 600 to 1 USD. Research corruption, 2010 UNC. Research production. Bring in Keith Rowley. Keith, not me. Keith run the country and not me. Keith was on team, same scene. See politics and sin, same thing. Real escape, sing praise. Don't jackass the thing to the macro traffic. Conflict, you already did. Reach up in front the traffic line and nobody did. Everybody stopped to gaze, but nobody care. Now tell me if that making any sense at major stop and go sign. Some say we stuck since time. So Sir Eric Williams says like we are abolished, but we still sovereign. Social services motto, several people suffering. Civilians stuttering at lifestyle prices plus grocery stipend, oil and gas price taker, dangerous life bend, political history. Our realist MVP, their biggest bet to leave the country with a stench, tense, heartless set of fearless criminals. Does crime not minimal? Does robbery skills that's so minimal? Justice just take a roundabout, just sit and watch it trickle down. Post-COVID protocol, one order overall. Some say the leaders above watching over the dregs. Others say no, they're watching over the wheat because we clueless. My biggest bet is to realize that we clueless. No, we true yes. Well, the next line of the spoken word is event on. Evict, detain, and vent off every crime corrupted sentence in our melting pot eclipse. Repentance for every crime corrupted consistency. We discontent like an iPhone 10 S1 sick, no screen. Our heart song on the highest songs of debate, that is revert our system in unison. Thoughts for our next generation, fully bold. And until next time, cause fully out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the show and big up all yourself.
Quite a performance there by Marcus. You'll put your hands together one more time for Marcus Hazel. All right. So, up next, we have Sarah David. Sarah, are you ready? Y'all please make some noise for Sarah and welcome her to the stage.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah David, and the name of this spoken word is Liberty's Facade. Forged from the love of liberty,
Liberty to do what? They say it's fundamental, but I have lost my mental capacity to take it literally. The right that you and me, we see it written bold in black and white. But honestly, what can you say is our right when politicians get away with 95% of the pie and poor people like you and I have to pay $40,000 in bail for a spliff on the corner? Or rights of employment when waiting 2 years for a 10 days as a single mother? What can be said for the PH driver dodging potholes like MacGyver to make a daily bread because he's been laid off, his education is obsolete in this society, and mouths to be fed? Police say it's a crime because he wastes no time to cover his bills. Doesn't he have a right? A right when day and night being turned away, no one to help him pay? What I need to ask Mr. Opportunity Commission is, what did you do in this situation when an officer turned over a stall and arrested a chow vendor? Also, freedom of information, Mr. Integrity Commission, about the sudden resurrection of the Nightfall's investigation. What legacy can we leave when forged from the love of liberty are just words of our history by Patrick Castani? Furthermore, don't we have a right to be fed? Toiling at work for our daily bread, yet the price of bread is out of reach because we don't practice. We just preach. Rights, rights, rights. The love of liberty is only expressed on Carnival when we whine equally and find our humanity and equality on the road, but become an enemy when bills pile from our economy. We lost the right to be free, because the repetition of our slack ways let politicians be the ones to control our economy. The things that we learned and see, the next generation are doomed to repeat and be. But possibly some sort of a protest would be great to relieve the stress of the less fortunate citizens like you and me to get a glimpse of real liberty. And may God bless our nation. Thank you.
Now I know our live audience could do a bit better than that. Please put your hands together for Sarah David. Now going into our next performer, we have a Mr. Michael Logie. Michael, are you ready? All right. Audience, can you please help me welcome to the stage Michael Logie.
This is a cold case. Yeah, he boldface. Every year is a direct slap to the face, but this time she cries the Caribbean Sea. And that is most times her downfall. You see, the dependency on him is like how most of the world is dependent on oil, gas, and coal. See, often shows how often his Caribbean friends and foes, even if the times between them are cold, they exist in a dark hole where the unrequited is simply being quieted. Shh. She has the Wendy Fitzwilliams figure that leaves him Bazo D, the way her legs and thighs are like the sweetest of beaches are the highest of tides, but despite the pigeon points and maracas inside them, there is still raucous and raucous words that work in tandem, like how she tantalizingly twirls and twerks her titties for tourists and calls that artwork while he is at work. But he knows the drill. So he drills
conceited, even if the finances between them are ill or ill-treated, and the bills from each barrel, though they spell U.S., there's no us. It's for him and his affairs. And he dictates the state of her affairs. And I wonder if her survival is a result of her living on fears, ferry tickets, or a fairy godmother. Why does she even bother when her face is often covered in the blacks and blues? And the only thing she really craves is the black eye peas and the blue foods to quench and put an end to all of these blue moods. But God knows this quenching comes around once in a blue moon. You see, she gets all the praise and fame when her children are on stage, like when Calypso rose through the likes of Sherwin Winchester, the great Dwight York, and when he played for Manchester, but the Calypso, the soca, and the 90-minute matches on field was never enough. So she had to feel every kick and cuff and slap that would twist her face into more emojis than WhatsApp. What's that? Independence? You want to go and live on your own? Woman, I am in control, and the only thing I ain't slap on you yet is a barcode. Shut up! My history sweet like the stalks of sugar cane, and the only thing sweet about yours is the couple packs of sugar cake. Shut up! The black hoe. Before I bring her back home and return you to tobacco, will these emotional scars go? When his actions are like a tambron ball, the way he would use his sugar to sugar coat his sour undertones, and so he became an expert of keeping her voice undertone so he could maintain control. She has grown and groaned, and now silence is the only thing that she knows. Is that demand for her? Is the demand for her worth all of these blows and scars? Is that why she's otherwise known as Scarborough? You see, no matter where he go, he will never let her go. He will never let his bae go. Now the forces of the ocean are against them. The tide says that she is always harder to approach, especially right after the Bocas or when her TNT spirit is down. How would you feel if your destiny lied in the hand of someone? And as the plane and boat connects them both, I hope that we just ask ourselves the question, is Trinidad and Tobago in this damn relationship? And what are we going to do about it?
He's tall, man. Get my work, boy. But please put your hands together one more time. Yeah, for Michael Logie. All right. So we have a person that just made it in by the skin of his teeth there. A little bit late, but he's here. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome to the stage Mr. Akil Wallace. Put your hands together.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, judges. It was at the height of the pandemic. I heard them saying, we need to flatten the curve. Flatten the curve. Unfortunately, I did not flatten. Rather, I fattened. Because what happened is I walk by sight, by appetite. I like them light. I like them white with the fattest of curves and hips that swerve and dip. When the punching swerve and hit, a girl could strip. It takes just a nip to reveal a nipple, to bend a man to his knees as though he's a cripple. They say, I need Abba. Abba. I told them, I have Abba. One Hebrew name for God is Abba. I am closely connected to God. I am running Abba. And what I am selling is beyond compelling. I sell what most men think about all the time. Girls. They qualify for my bar. Girls, you must look like you from Barcelona, Madrid, Cordoba, Granada,
Even if you come from Caracas, past Three Caracas and landed in Maracas, my markup is to park up Benz and BMs to get the BMs. I must make sure your BMI is perfect. Long hair, brown hair, slim waist, smooth face, perfect. You could cuss me all you want. I have what the customer want. I am a problem. The destructive type. I like the construction right. I am the reason that I once at a Spanish who don't know nothing about construction on construction site. Because to keep these girls under control, you had to bring their mother, their brother, their sister, their cousin, their uncle, their auntie, and you had to link them with work. Then you had to go and lie to people and say, Trini's do work. Trini's lazy. I think Trini's crazy to work for what they pay in Spanish. It even amazes me. I am a problem. We have a problem. What's going to happen to nationals in this place? Nationals go be displaced. Selling promiscuity at this pace must compromise the security at this place. Who clears the coast? The coast is like the conscience of a virgin. It clear. Who guarding the post? It is not Argentina's goalkeeper. Who guarding the coast? Who placing boats? Who placing ships? I paying the most to the coast is as open as Hollywood relationships. Listen to the songs of deprivation, the songs of demoralization. I am the tune. Come and eat our food. I am the spoon. I am the darkness, hiding the stars, hiding the moon. I am immune to servicemen. Because these same women coming to service them, even pastors that pass through. Even pastors that pass through, if it ever surface, they come into a different surface. A certain all you got burn down these different churches. It's so sinister. Even ministers being administered treatment in my bar. Watch me. All you can't touch me. If all you don't figure out a way to block me and stop me, I go turn this island into a girdle where woman and man just show up on sand like leatherback turtles. Send them back, they come back. Send them back, they come back. What I feel is tire wheel, they're spinning in circles. Send them back, I want them back. I don't want them blacks. I fed up a purple, I am hurdle. I have a bar, I am a barrier. I am a problem, the thorn that must be removed from the lion's paw, lest it roar and slaughter the island's pride. The island's pride, what going to happen to nationals in this place? Nationals go by this place, selling promiscuity at this pace, must compromise the security at this place.
All right. He just tied that up with a very nice bow. Because right now we have to go into a little break just before we have our final performer. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Just take some time, get some refreshment, stretch your legs. And like I said, for all those who are also streaming, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. So we all good? All right. All right, folks. So welcome back to the 2023 auditions for the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. And we are back for our final performer of the evening. His name is Marcus Millet. And as the final performer that we had to wait and accommodate, I hope that he will blow us all away. So judges, are you all ready? My live audience, are you all ready? And for everyone that is streaming, I hope you all are ready as well. Help me please welcome to the stage, Mr. Marcus Millet. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcus Millet from East Trinidad, Arima. Yeah. Yeah. Big up Arima one time. That's where my bed located. It have a way with us discipline children in the Caribbean. After we break our broomstick on the back, we just ask what you're crying for. And if they ever make the mistake and laugh while getting a cocktail, well, we just cut the tail more. Then when they start to cry again, we just say you better hush your mouth before you really get something to cry for. As if the pain of a leather belt, a broom, or a pot spoon is not reason enough to express pain. Because little licks never kill nobody. Like we be really never really had a good childhood unless you get a good cocktail. But for some reason, we like to reinforce silence when in pain. So as children, we learn to take licks and pretend like we don't feel anything. So by the time you reach adolescence, you're supposed to know to remain silent, even when pain unbearable, whether it's emotional or physical. Because depression and mental illness is white people thing. And at this age, you're too big to be all up in your feelings, warm. You're at a banker. Because I the only version of depression Caribbean people know we were raised by the belt. And statements like you're going mad, you're stupid. Look, don't make my half kill you here today. You feel like it's one of your little friend and them with you. Yeah, and we just laugh at that end. But when you walk into your child's room and you see them hanging from the leather belt you used to incur the black and blue bruise, well, I hope you could untie them. With the same arms you once armed with anything in arm's reach to discipline, instilling ensuring that anything you feel will eventually pass because it's just a little pain and pain don't ever last. Well, one day this might be a funny story. So take a second to laugh as I put your problem second to last. We just have that kind of culture for comedy that don't allow we to take nothing too serious. But where the joke, when every time we see a friend going mad, we just say they on coke or weed smoke, is either that or they take a pull in a black. Is this kind of culture that are pulling us back to the point where we can see that the country is sick, stick, shift, stuck in reverse as we try to move forward, but only revert is a lack of remorse with no room for discourse to discuss issues without excuse, to execute compassion. When you see a friend crying but you don't know how to console, when your friend asks how they're going but you don't know what to tell them, when somebody asks for a shoulder to cry on but you can't provide a shoulder, we just have that kind of culture for comedy that don't allow we to take none too serious. But where the joke? When every time we see a friend going mad, we just say they on coke or weed smoke. It's either that or they take our pulling our black. It's this kind of culture that pulling us back to the point where we can see that the country sick, stick, shift, stuck in reverse as we try to move forward, but only revert is a lack of remorse, for no room for discourse, without excuse to execute compassion. When a friend come to confide in you because they have nowhere else to turn to. Tell me how come as our people we could believe in tobacco, but not severe depression. When you ask someone how they're feeling, but never listen after you ask the question, we just say, God will give you more than you can handle, but it's hard. When emotions tear through your skin, but generations before been saying that even when in pain, remain silent, like silence is discipline. So hush your mouth and don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
We waited on him to deliver, and so he did. But he also gave someone else a chance to be able to make it on the stage. So now, for our final performer for the evening, I beg you all to help me welcome to the stage Akasi Lamach Joseph. Please put your hands together.
My name, yeah, my name is Acacia Lamesh Joseph. Yeah. ACACIA. AC. No, it's a ACACIA. It's a A. Yeah. Yeah, A as in apple. Yeah. And the and the name of my piece is called Sirens. Sirens. Have you ever heard a siren song? A song so sweetly sickening to the ear. It's like a screaming falsetto bounding against my natural thought to banging against my eardrums. A hurried, slow beating against the wall of my sense, leaving me broken without change. What? You thought I enjoyed their melodic mockery of admiration turned into sycophantic, acidically sweetened serenades, hushing you until it's too late and you happily drowning in the tides of their words. Be careful of the water. Have you ever heard a siren song? They say their voices were made of symphonies and harmonies, songs of the sweetest soliloquies spinning of serpentine tongues enticingly like the original sin, temptation crawling up your spine with sonical sensation, voices that have brought the strongest of wills to their knees, can convince you that the sky has and will always be green, that the space between the two cars is just big enough to squeeze between, that maybe it's a good idea to meet Mama Glow and jump neck first into a ravine. Have people slit their throats to taste copper of dead promises, comforting like the ice some drown themselves in at the bottom of their glasses to try and find a glimpse of heaven before the burn of ice bring them to a cold reality. Sailors and fishermen, please be advised when traversing the sea. For you see, there's more than just fish in it, you see. And that sound you hear ringing through the air is not the wind, but it's sirens clear. Plug your ears. Have you ever really heard a siren song? When you pull back the layers of dulcet tones, you can hear their voices like broken glass, shattering against your eardrums with lies. I didn't mean to offend with lies. Girl, you know I love you. With lies, they were just a friend. With lies, people have sold their souls for less than 30 pieces of dull silver coins for nothing but asphyxiation for their fixation on the affection, for pure fiction like it's an affliction. People hang themselves on mercuric words of sirens as search for breath when lies constrict the throat's eyes bulge out in shock before the floor falls out from beneath them, leaving them hanging. Struggle for breath. Don't breathe. This is not your Disney Little Mermaid wandering free. This is the mermaid that kills and bathes in the blood of the prince. A man's local encounter with a larger bless, and we have not seen him since. Or your best friend man that was so bad for them, but to leave them you had to try so hard to convince. Have you ever met a siren? Listen well. Legends say that they're closer than you can tell.
Thank you very much, Acacia. We got it right this time. Acacia. I tried. Acacia. Almost. Now we have it right. Acacia. Please put your hands together for Acacia. Now, that officially concludes our show today. Thank you all for being part of this, both the live audience and those of you streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for taking part and looking on as we complete our auditions for the 2023 First Citizens National Poetry Slam, the 11th year. Now, over the 3 days, we had a lot of very talented poets pass through of all different ages, ethnicities, and genders. But of course, only 30 can make it to the semi-final round on March 25th and 26th. And of course, from the semi-finals, only 15 will be making it to the final round on April 30th. So, to keep up to date with all the information, definitely head over to the social pages at National Slam TT or on Facebook at FCNPS. Go and check out those pages to get all the information and stay up to date to see if your favorite poets made it to the semi-final round. All right? So thank you all again for tuning in. Of course, thank the judges, our very distinguished panel of judges. We know over the 3 days they had a lot of work to do, so we'll leave them to deliberate and see who they will choose in the final 30 for the semi-final round. So, thank you all very much. My name is Tevin Gill, and I hope to see you all tuning in again for the semi-finals. You all take care, and goodbye.